Good evening, everybody. This is episode 88, and I can't even believe I'm on 88. This is my special episode tonight, and Manifesting with Meg, Conversations with Extraordinary People. And do I have amazing guests for you tonight? I'm going to say that this is big love and friendship bonanza on this very auspicious occasion of the numbers 2222 and episode 88. The 222 meaning and symbolism, it talks about the dreams coming into reality and attaining balance. Keep your head held high and then things will fall into place. Remember to keep praying that your best will happen in your life, spiritually praying without ceasing, and it'll attract blessings into your life. So without further ado, on this wonderful evening propelled by a higher spiritual purpose, we bring you our celebration of love and friendship episode. And I have the distinct pleasure of introducing you to the beautiful Annie McDonald. She is a fantastic friend, woman, person who's filled with love, a lifelong reader and advocate for writers and books. She's an alum of High Point University, class of 1991. Yes, in 2006, she entered a contest with Elle magazine and became a book reviewer for the magazine. Amazing story. When Elle stopped running book reviews, this woman moved to blogging and eventually began the Write Review. It's an entire community that was born. She writes book reviews, beta reads, blurbs, books, and all the wonderful community that she's built up until this point. She is here in her beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tiara. I want to point out that in December of 2021, she published a poem and essay in an anthology called Once Upon Another Time. Congratulations. She's presently working on her first book. And I have got to say this, not only is she an incredible person, but she is a lover of animals, beautiful dogs, 5 lovely cats, her 3 beautiful dogs. She volunteers at One Love Rescue and supports both adult and children literacy. Welcome this evening, Annie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. You make me sound so special.
Oh my God.
And it feels so special to be here. You are a bright light. I started watching you way back, like during one of your first shows. So like when it ended up that Suzanne and Leslie knew you, it was amazing to me.
Well, wait till I get to introduce Leslie and Suzanne. They're here too. Thank you so much. You know, I always was so amazed by your candor and ability to interview people and the way you engage an audience, especially by virtue of bringing out someone's beauty when you speak to them. So this is a dream come true for me as well, Annie. I'm so grateful that we have this evening together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And without further ado, do I have another beauty for all of you? We have people coming in that you're so special, Annie. It's so nice to see you and looking forward to this event. Yes, I am too. I'm so grateful you all are here. So the next beauty with a tiara on this evening is my friend. And a year ago today, she showed up with her first interview on Manifesting with Meg, Suzanne Simonetti, who I have to say thank you so much for engaging this relationship, this friendship with Annie, and giving me the opportunity to have this opportunity with both of you. Suzanne is an award-winning author. She's a novelist who grew up in the New York suburbs, just outside the city. She has a BS in marketing. She is really good at marketing, by the way, and lives on Cape May Harbor with her husband. The Sound of Wings is her first book. This is the anniversary, like I said, of her first show with me last year on this auspicious, wonderful date, 22222. We actually said we're going to come back this time this year and talk about all the beauty that's actually happened. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for being here as well.
So great to be here, Megan, especially on the anniversary. And what a difference from then to now. And we'll get into all that good stuff.
Oh my God, I can't wait. And last but certainly not least, the beautiful Leslie Rasmussen. Leslie graduated from UCLA and went on to write television comedies for Gerald McRaney, Burt Reynolds, Roseanne Barr, McDonald, and Drew Carey, as well as the Wild Thornberrys. Recently, she's written over 20 essays for the Huffington Post. And her debut novel has hit so many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful high marks after Happily Ever After. It's an international book club find this week. You guys need to go out and get it. Leslie, welcome to Manifesting with Meg. Once again, conversations with these beautiful, extraordinary people. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being on your show. It's been the highlight of my career.
It's so
much fun. And this is great.
I feel like this is the highlight of my career. Thank you guys so much. I can't tell you how excited I am to be a part of this magical conversation with friends. You know, I don't think this ever would have happened had I not taken a leap of faith in my own life, jumped out of a very safe, quote unquote, unfulfilling box with a leap toward my creative dreams. Each of you are a part of this beautiful unfolding of my dreams. I love that I get to be a part of yours as well. Thank you so much. You know, I want to ask each one of you about, the whole idea of manifesting and what amazing friendships happen when you say yes to your dreams. I think that is really a place where I want to start, especially with the theme tonight being celebration of love and friendship and detaching with love. Tell me a little bit about that. Start with Annie tonight, because I think that that's a really great, and she's been posting a lot of amazing things around celebration of friendship and love. Let's start there.
Well, are we starting with the quotes?
Well, if you want to start with the quote, we can do that, because I think that it's going to be starting with a bang. If you want to do that, I think that's even smarter than ever, because
Annie's checking.
Annie's great quote tonight, and if I may, unless you want to read it out loud, because I think maybe you're more powerful. Okay. This is a quote that inspires Annie. They whispered to her, "You can't withstand the storm." And she answered back, "I am the storm." Tell me what you feel or think about that, Annie. A great way to start the show, by the way.
Well, bottom line is, first of all, if it wasn't for my friends, I wouldn't be able to move so smoothly through all of the things that I have. But I've gone from my career with my Microsoft company to being disabled, and then having the book reviewing. Like, I found a new way to surge my energy out into the world, because I have to be active. And then the book club, which then got taken over. But now writing, like learning to write, like with people that I listed as like favorite books of mine are now teaching me. And like they're saying, "Oh, you're so good." I feel like everyone is holding everybody up. So when I could no longer do interviews every day, I now found a new way. Okay, I can't do that, so I'm going to write instead. But they helped me realize the new dream manifestation of it.
That's amazing. And tell me about the storm. I am the storm.
Because nothing's going to hold me down. I broke my neck when I was 18 years old, and I went back to college. I finished that semester. I've been battling illness ever since, and I'm never going to stop. I mean, I just got another second opinion on things. Like, I just don't ever stop, because I want to always find the answer, and I'll never give up, even if I'm only able to sit on the couch all day, and do my exercises a little bit. But I will always find something to do, and that's why I feel very strong. But I'm strong because of my sorority sisters, the people in the book community that I was able to find, people that I worked with, so many people, my family, of course, my animals.
Yeah.
Like, we go out, my husband will be going to work one day and he'll say, "Your sorority sister stopped by, and there's big Zeta Love in mine on the front lawn."
I love
it. So there's so much love from everybody, lights a fire in me to get better.
Amazing.
So that's why. And I have a wonderful friend named Serena that I met through the book community. And she supports me every single day.
It's amazing. I definitely want, to your point, that whole idea that you are the storm and that love heals. Love really heals, because I think in many ways there's so many broken parts of us, but at the same time, if we can even love those flaws, even makes us more powerful as the storm, because then we stand taller and we rise a little bit stronger, especially, like you said, with people like Serena in your life.
Well, remember when we spoke I said so many people were telling me, "Stop saying your disease, my disease."
Yeah.
I said, no, I have to be my disease, because then I'm not me. And I feel that that's where I get my strength from, because I fight it because I'm not trying to avoid it. I'm in it to win it. I'm fighting it. So I think I take a whole new stance on that. And real quick, there was a Spanish boy in this neighborhood, couldn't speak my language, but for some reason his youth group wanted to heal me. And they have been a huge support system. He lights a fire in me because he checks on me 12:15 on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. And he's like a young kid that speaks not my language, but he just liked my smile or whatever, so
That's beautiful. And to your point, I will say this. I think that many times people have a storm that is enveloping them and they want to numb out from it. And I think this is to your point. Instead of facing what is in front of them, they want to numb. And then what you're doing is you're like, bring it, and I'm going to walk through it. And that is amazing because, like you said, you inspire so many people to that strength, that withstanding the storm, which I love that. I love that you said it. I was like, yes, show the visual, because I think people need to see the visual, because I can't put it up here, but I love it. There you go, people. They whispered to her, you cannot withstand the storm. I am the storm, she whispered back. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Next beautiful quote we have this evening is from Suzanne. And Suzanne's quote is once again very inspirational as well. I'm going to read it and then tell us what you think, Suzanne. Some people arrive and make such a beautiful impact on your life. You can barely remember what life was like without them. Anna Taylor. Wow.
Oh.
Give me 5 minutes. I have to cry first.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
The cancer over here. I'm a total sap.
Oh my God.
Well, there's been so many surprises along the way. Well, and we'll go back to like a year ago, right, Meg, when we first were on the show. I mean, I'm just a different person than I was sitting here. And there's been really a lot of happy surprises, unexpected turns along the way. But one of the biggest things were, I would say, the three of you meeting new friends who I am in touch with on a daily basis.
Yes.
And I, would I have survived the year without you guys? Yes, I would have. Would it have been the same? Not even close.
Right.
Not even close. It wouldn't have been as fun. It wouldn't have been as interesting. I wouldn't have learned as much. So I really cannot imagine having taken this journey without the support and the network that we've created. It's something real.
Yeah. I'm getting goosebumps because what you said is, I can't imagine my life without these beautiful people in it. Yeah. And what an amazing reflection when you're probably maybe if you're sitting in a storm or a powerful moment that's overwhelming you and you don't feel as strong as you might want to. And then you think about where you are in this world and what you're saying, what amazing friendships happen when you say yes to your dreams. Tell me about your dream process, because it's been a year now since you were on with me, looking down the path, as it were, your book coming out, your book being published.
Well, I had no idea what to expect as far as, what were the readers going to think. I knew what close friends thought, and I was getting net galleys rolling in slowly. But I had no idea I was going to get picked up by the Wordy Traveler book box subscription. That was my first wonderful surprise. It was 600 paperbacks they bought for their boxes. That was huge. And, hearing from strangers, absolute strangers, when's your next book coming out? Is it going to be a sequel? I want to know what happens. And I'm like, wow, I really need to get on it. But so those little unexpected, wonderful things and people can say, oh, this might happen and that might happen. And I have said this to other people. You have to live it. You have to live it for yourself, because there's really no way to harness everything that could possibly happen on this journey.
I do want to point out that people are saying, what an amazing quote, Annie, and also what a quote, Suzanne, but such wonderful expressions of friendship from all of you. And Kelly likes your matching mug that you're wearing tonight. But by the way, I just want to say, add to that point, what amazing friendships. And I think it comes down to what Leslie's quote is tonight. Accept no one's definition of your life, define yourself. I mean, if there's full circle here, I think, boom, we end at least with the quotation parts, the inspiration parts with that. I'm going to say it again because I want everyone to truly hear this. Accept no one's definition of your life. Just define yourself. Leslie, take it away, my friend.
Well, that quote to me is so important because I tended in the past to like listen to all the chatter about, who I was, whether I was a mom, whether I was married, whatever it was.
I love it.
And I don't think for a long time I wasn't defining myself. And this process of writing and then meeting all of you guys and making all these friends who are creative, who understand that part of me, has been such a blessing.
Yeah.
Because it's helped me realize, oh, wait, yes. For some years I wrote and then I stopped when I had my kids and then started again. And I didn't think of myself as a writer. And I didn't think of myself as an author until literally the day my book came out. And when people said to me, well, you're an author. And I thought, oh, I guess I am. I just kept hearing everybody else talking about what they thought I was or who they thought I was. So it's been a really great year of really figuring out who I really am now, the second act of my life.
So awesome.
And I've done so many different things that have just blown me away. Like Suzanne said, I was terrified to be on a podcast. Absolutely. Like Suzanne and I were texting back and forth, how are we ever going to do this? And then I was on your podcast, Meg, and that was my first one. And I just realized, oh, wait, I can do this. I do have something to say, and my book has something to say. And that's been really an interesting thing to kind of come to terms with.
So Rachel's saying, I love that, Leslie, the second act of my life. And you get to define what that act is. And I love how we're all set up tonight because I'm sitting on top with Annie, who is a well-known podcast blogger, interviewer. And I feel so proud to be in the vicinity with her. As I had watched her, and I'm not trying to be a sycophant, I'm just trying to show respect because of the talent that I see. And I think that the wonderful thing of what you said, yes, please go ahead, Suzanne.
Well, I was going to say, I can speak on behalf of Leslie and I because our books came out in April and May. And we like to tease that Meg popped our cherry. But what was great about it is that we got to be interviewed by Annie. So you sort of bookended us.
Yeah.
Which is great to have that. Both of you interviewed us very well. And they were memorable experiences. Just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, and we all became friends because of it.
Yeah.
That's right. It was really memorable.
Well, Rachel's also saying, love the queendom here, the tiaras. And I will speak to that.
Oh, woo!
Because we all walk around and we don't even have the tiaras on, as if we have tiaras on. And the fact that they're beautiful tiaras definitely add to the decor and certainly make us even look more radiant tonight. But what I will say to the tiara is that each one of us, everyone who's listening tonight, is a queen. You are a queen. That is the definition of for yourself, right? How you show up. That is what you get to decide, accepting no one else's decision for you. So with that, I love the theme tonight. It is my 88th episode. Today's date is Detached with Love. And one of the things about the show is about transformation, dreams come true, waking up to the power of a universe packed with possibility. And the coolest thing about that is that I love getting intentional. And like I said, I can't tell you how excited I am to have these magical connections, these magical conversations. And this quote tonight is just perfect. Let us not be content to wait and see what will happen, but give us the determination to make the right things happen. Horseman. And that talks to each one of us about the power that we have within. And that was my quote tonight, was the Dorothy quote. It was, but my dear, you always had the power within you. Always had it. And one of the things I love, and then I want each of you to share your thoughts, is that when we're all called to a worthy endeavor, be it writing, be it, hosting, be it, communicating, any way we show up in the world, be it saving a dog, saving, or even being present to the young man who lives on the street, who doesn't even speak your language, or even showing up to the many people in Wordy Traveler who are desperate to hear inspiration and hope. And then saying to people, Leslie, yes, you have a second act, take it on and you make the choice to say what you want and do what you want. I think that whenever you are called to a worthy endeavor, there's no time to take an attitude of wait and see for the perfect time to execute on inspired action. We must act. So each one of you, starting with the beautiful Annie, go for it.
I love that you call me beautiful, so thank you. I don't hear that very often. I appreciate it. you know, as far as exactly what you're talking about, I've always been into manifesting things, making things happen that I want to happen.
Love it.
And like when I was reviewing for Elle magazine, I was like, I want to talk to these authors. I don't want to just read their books. I have a ton of questions for them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So as soon as that ended, I started with the interviews. Boom, right away. Because I knew that's what I was just as interested in the book as the author, because I felt that if people know you, as because you guys are authors, if people know you, they will love your book, get it, they will then want to follow you because they know you, they've created a relationship with you. You know, if they hear your laugh or see your smile, things like that, know you like dogs or cats or whatever it may be. And I think that all of that is very important. And I'm very into shouting out for others, you know, authors, whether it be the dogs that need homes, cats, children that need books in inner city communities, you know. So I always go for, I'm always going for something. I think I drive my husband crazy.
Oh,
Well, you know, I think there's a beautiful thing when you're shouting out for others. And I think that it's because I see something in someone else that really does make me feel something greater than I even imagined. And that's that special quality that speaks to. And, you know, I know that we have a wonderful author friend of all of ours soon, because we're going to be talking to him, that, you know, it's his pub day today. And I know you were reaching for something, so I'm going to shout him out right now on the show. It's his day. And go ahead, speak to it.
Robert Gwaltney has released The Cicada Tree today, which is going to be a classic. This is going to be, this is, you know, Southern literature, dark. I felt like Jane Eyre-ish kind of thing going on, but Southern Gothic. He writes differently than another person. You feel like you're sitting across from somebody different, even when you're speaking with him. So you knew his book was going to be special. And I just wonder what took him so long. And I wondered that with you guys too, you know, and everybody's books have different messages. Like, you know, Suzanne's was all about French, you know, friendship. Well, I mean, so was Leslie's, but it was like, where was a woman going? You know, everyone has these beautiful messages in their stories. And so congratulations to Robert. And I did ask him if he has a crown. I said, you need to get a crown.
You need to get a crown. Well, on this 22222, right? Congratulations to Robert on his book. We all know what kind of auspicious moment that is when our books are birthed into the world. It's a really wonderful moment, and it is definitely aligning with the fact that you do shout out to people, what the beauty of that you see in them, and what a beautiful, wonderful shout out for him tonight that he can. And we're going to do interviewing him soon as well on with Annie. So that's beautiful. I want to turn now. Oh, go ahead, please.
I need to interrupt because Meg, I forgot to mention your book about grieving your mother, you know, going through losing your mother.
Butterflies Awakening.
It's just everything you write is just so touching and beautiful. You are a teacher of the soul.
yeah.
You know, and that's your path. It's so obvious here today, but I just wanted to. I said, "Oh my God, I didn't say anything."
Well, thank you. You know, Jennifer's saying there's so much positivity here tonight. I love conversations and friendships that you ladies share. And I want to speak to that as about Annie. I had a wonderful conversation with her, and I was just like, and it's because I trust Suzanne and Leslie as to the people they bring into my life. And that's a beautiful thing. So everyone that is in that circle kind of spreads out to that circle of influence, becomes greater and greater. And that's an inspired act, to act upon something like that. I want to speak to Suzanne now as to what her thoughts are about that particular quote, and also what I said about as far as the magic connections that evolve in inspired action through friendships.
Okay. Well, I hope this is fitting, but it's just what's speaking to me, so I'm going to share it. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the journey and about how I'm going to jump off of what Leslie said before about how we're in Act 2. We're all 4 of us are in our Act 2 right now. And so sometimes when we have a dream, we have it all mapped out in our minds, and we see, okay, this is the path and this is how I have to get there. But then roadblocks come up and we're detoured, and it's like, oh man. And I'll put it another way. Doors start slamming, right? Where your doors slamming, you're like, okay, I got through that. And you're going through another room and you're like, hey, I'm on my way. Boom, another door slams. There isn't one path. The path is skewed. And I love what you always say, Meg, about how everything is rigged in our favor. And so that's happened to me throughout the past year, where I'm like, I want this, I want this, I want this. I can't come up with an example right now, but I need this, I have to get it, and that's how it's got to be. And it doesn't go that way. Yeah. But then something better happens. And so I have learned just to be open to those slamming doors. That just means you're headed in the wrong direction. Maybe you need to turn around. Maybe there's another one that's unlocked somewhere else. And our friends will absolutely and should, and then you guys do, remind me to look for the door that could be unlocked. That's very important. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. The visual that came up when you're speaking that is like, I try to be the effortless, I try to feather on the effortless breath of God's, I try to float as a feather on the breath of God effortlessly. But then the storm hits and it completely washes me out and the feather drops to the floor and I have to dry off a little bit and then go, okay, something else is like, there's a plot twist here. So I need to reevaluate, relook. And I love what you said, as far as that's concerned, because it makes life a little bit easier if you are accepting a little easier. So Thank you so much for sharing that. And they're loving your outfit coordinations.
I know.
Behind you.
I see that Rachel, Kelly.
They're going nuts. They're going nuts.
Gotta do it.
I love it. Leslie, now you. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm going to kind of go off of what Suzanne said. I know we all are, but a really hard worker. And so I put so much effort into things. And like Suzanne said, sometimes the door is just closed and you just keep trying and you really want that door to open. But like she said, then it might come from somewhere you don't expect. And all of a sudden there's another door open, like she was saying. And I find that it's great. Like Meg is my biggest manifester. I turn to you every time I need positivity because we all know that I'm very realistic and I don't always go to this, oh my God, this is definitely going to happen. It's not who I am. And I'm trying to absorb some of Meg in there. But at the same time, I'm also trying to say, okay, this maybe isn't the way it's going to go. Maybe it's over here. And so my hard work isn't for nothing. It's just, maybe it's going to just be in a different direction.
Yeah.
Not to be so hard on myself because we all have things in our mind that we think, oh, this is how I want my career to go. And I want this and that. And sometimes, whether it's the agent that turns you down, well, then they're not the right agent. And, they're not the right person for your book. And because like with my book, so many reviews came in saying exactly what I wanted them to say, which is, I really relate to your characters. This is my family, or this is me. And there's agents out there that would never have accepted my book. And they would have said, oh, you didn't do this right, or you didn't do that right. But your audience is really who matters. It's the readers. Yep. So I'm trying to keep that in mind, is that it doesn't really matter if it's, somebody up here that I think is so great and doesn't like something I do, because the readers do. And that's really why I'm writing, is for other people to read it, not just to, move forward with an agent or whatever, although that would be nice, but that's not what I'm doing.
Well, I want to speak to your point, because I love what you're saying. Sometimes the vision we have in our mind of what should happen and what actually happens could be better. And we'll never know if we keep our, like Suzanne was saying, eyes fixed on that one vision. Like, it's kind of like, you're sitting over here and you're looking at this door and like there's a parade behind you with your name in the middle, but you keep looking at this door and you're like, no, that's the way I was supposed to go. I'm going that way. Meanwhile, bandering, like literally everyone's like, Leslie, Suzanne, and like, no.
I want to jump in because you brought up something so smart. It's so true when it comes to reviews too, as authors, because we get, for every 10 reviews, we're like, wow, this is great. And then you get that one person that's like, I didn't like this, don't bother. don't waste your money. I think I've seen that in almost every author I know, including myself. I've gotten that. Don't waste your money. Oh my God, why do we focus on that one review when there's 25 really great ones? And so to stop doing that and focus on, look around and start focusing on the good. Yeah.
So smart. So smart.
Annie did something on your show, Leslie, and I won't forget. She read a 1-star review that did not sound like a 1-star review. It was a 5-star review. It
was a nice review.
Yeah, they gave the wrong stars. They wrote like, this is like so great, basically. And then they were like 1 star.
It's like, obviously they missed the other 4. We'd go back and fill it in the blanks because clearly that was way better than they even imagined, right? For sure.
Well, sometimes I think people don't know what they're doing half the time, or they're not concentrating hard enough, realizing how important it is to hit these stars right and all of that. But, I have so much, I have the biggest soapbox on negative reviews, so I cannot get started.
Well, the funny thing is, the perspective could have been that they thought one was really good.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, like, you just never know.
No, I've had people write amazing reviews and then give me 3 stars because they said, anybody else would have loved this book. I just didn't relate to it, but everybody else should buy it. I had somebody do that, and it's like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, you know what my favorite is? I don't give out 4 or 5 stars. What?
It's like they're holding their virginity for the 5 stars to themselves. For a perfect person, that perfect book comes along, and who knows if it ever will happen, right? That's all.
Well, I believe you should always read a book starting at 5 stars, and it only declines if it's like edited so poorly or whatever. No other reason. Your opinion is only worth a star because there's so many other people that like book, like your opinion on the story.
Yeah.
There's so many other people like it. Was it well written? Did there's so many other I do workshops on this, so
it's hard to write a book. So these people that are saying this, they didn't write a book. So and it's easy for them to say 1 star, whatever.
So or my favorite is I didn't finish it. 1 star.
Yeah.
If you didn't finish it, you can't review it. What's wrong with you?
Or they can think of it as like America's Got Talent, and they get 4 stars, and then if it's really good, they got a golden buzzer.
They get the golden buzzer.
Boom, the golden buzzer, and it could be blowing up the whole thing. So yeah, exactly. I love each of your point of views, and it takes us back to the beautiful question, or not even the question, the magic of friendship, which is really why we're here tonight. And this is really something I want to, send a message out there. So one person, you could be the world in a world that could be isolated. And so you might not think you are so special because, I don't know, sometimes if you look in the mirror too long at yourself, you're just kind of, it's boring. It's me again. I don't want anything else. Like, okay, maybe I got to wear my tiara to give me some kind of pizzazz. I don't know. But you coming into someone else's life for the first time, bringing that energy of love, what you do, Annie, what you do, Leslie, what you do, Suzanne, it could be a life changer. And you'll never know. And I always think about legacy of a friend, a legacy of a relationship or a magical connection, because that could shift a life. Like that young boy that you were talking about, Annie, but his life is probably never going to be the same because he met a beautiful person like you. And felt like he's a part of that. And I will say this, one of the things I loved, which is really kind of the interactive portion of this, is I asked each of them to send me a question that they had around friendship. And I really want to pose it from the questioner and then offer the opportunity for the other 2 to ask or to answer. Okay. So Leslie's question is beautiful. Let's start there. Those beautiful relationships that sustain the soul. Remember that. We are all a part of relationships that keep and sustain our souls while we're walking this journey and while we're walking each other home. And Leslie begins, how have your friendships changed during the pandemic? Have they gotten better or worse? And let me start and ask Leslie first, because I think she asked the question, so she must have a very good answer for that.
It's interesting because I've met all of you guys during the pandemic. So I have met some wonderful women, you guys especially, and some other women that have really come into my life in a different way. I mean, we all live in different places. We Zoom, we talk, but I feel so close, like I've known you guys forever. So the pandemic in that way has been really great. The harder part is my friends that live close by that I used to see constantly. For a while, I didn't even get to see them. Everybody was scared. And, I rely on my friends for hugs, and none of us were doing anything. So texting was like, hi, how are you? Nobody was texting because there wasn't anything to say.
Yeah.
So the connection was really hard. And I'm very much into my friends. I talk to them all the time. I'm very close to them. So that part of it was really hard for me. But you guys and Zooming just made my day. It really helped me not feel isolated, because for a while I did feel isolated.
That's beautiful. And Annie or Suzanne, do you want to speak to that question as well?
I do want to say it was more of an effort, like Leslie was saying, because the people that you're used to seeing, you're not seeing them. And then for us, it was such an interesting time because we were all preparing to launch books. So everything became about Zooming and meetings. And so, we're still really there with a lot of it. I mean, things are opening up and we're moving around now, but that part of my life hasn't stopped. But I have found the need to sort of make an effort to the people who, aren't part of my, let's say, writing world to try and connect. Yeah.
So Annie, take it away.
Well, for me, since the pandemic and all of that began, I had to move things around because all of a sudden 50,000 people doing interviews.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that way before. So what I did was I decided to start introducing authors to authors that had things in common. And I found that only helped me build bigger bridges, more friends, more people I could call and count on if I needed help with something, whether it be writing or an article or an interview or anything like that. And the book world really became my lifesaver. It really did, because when you're told, when you get up one day and you can't walk, sitting on a Zoom chat like now is it's angels talking to me, and people that want to take the time to Zoom, talk live to me, like Patricia Sands. She's an author that will talk live to me. It's very intimate. Yeah. And when you get these friends that you haven't physically met yet, but you feel like you have, you've learned so much. So I think there's a saying, something like, the greatest thing you can do in life is introduce each other to one another.
Oh, beautiful. And I will say, Patricia Sands is saying, Annie, you are truly a groundbreaker with your amazing interviews. She definitely shouting out to you as well. And we have Nico Garrett here who's saying she loves that you're focusing on the good. That's right. And by the way, magical connections. That's what it's all about. Magical connections can shift lives. And the introductions, like, I know you, you know me, but do you know them? Like, and you'll love conversating, having these conversations with other people, because that is how your intuition guides you. And I think that's fantastic. And echoes Garrett's saying, amen, Annie, to that as well. So I love that.
There's so many authors that travel around together now because I've introduced them. Because they didn't even realize that they were doing the same things. It's very, very, it's fun, so I'm going to keep doing that.
I was to say, you feel magical doing that too, because now even Patricia's saying that how important your conversations are, each one of them. And like I said, you could be that person for every person you come in contact with, if you're really, truly holding that intention to show up with that magical air of who you are, right? You said before, Leslie, the defining of yourself, who you choose to show up as, which I think is amazing. And, one of the things I have to say is, one of the things I like definitely has come down to the questions that other people pose, because sometimes it opens up a whole other world that I wasn't even thinking about, because that's not my experience. And I'm better and better. I'm better for it, and I benefit from others. So back to the next question. I'm going to go Annie's last because I love hers. Suzanne, how can our friendships help us to carve out the best versions of ourselves? I love that. So take it away. That's your question, and share with us what your thoughts are.
Well, I think that I think our friends aren't those people that tell us everything's okay all the time or everything that we do is okay. We all misstep and maybe say the wrong thing, and your real friends are going to tell you when you do that, and they're going to be honest with you, right? And they keep it real. Your real friends keep it real.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have that trust. And you don't need yes women around you.
Oh, I love that.
You don't. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And Annie, since you got so excited, tell us what your thoughts are on that. I love it.
Well, I think it's very important for women to be able to communicate if there is some barrier or something that is not quite, they don't feel quite comfortable, quite right with, or whatever, but they can discuss it, communicate, compromise, and move on with their friendship.
Yeah.
I think that to me, friendship is like marriage.
Yes.
And sickness and health, till death do us part, all of that. And it should be like that,
And also it speaks to the, carving out the best, aspects of ourselves. I couldn't just, if I was having a bad day or a bad week, crawl under the covers and not be accessible, because that's no good. I mean, Meg, Leslie, you guys expect better than that of me, and vice versa, right? And so in that regard, it always makes me want to say, oh, I got to get up and I got to do this. And whatever's bothering me, I have to shake it off and I got to keep going. And so you guys encourage me.
I love that. I love that.
I can add to that because, I mean, you both know Suzanne and Meg and Annie. I mean, you guys know that there are times that it's like, as a writer or as an author, there are things that happen and you kind of go into this, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed and there's too much going on. And you do want to just go inside yourself. But I find that I do reach out and I do say, I'm just having a bad day. And even if I say it on our group chat or whatever, you guys will immediately jump in. Suzanne will call me and go, okay, I got to just talk you through this. And I do find that I feel so much better afterwards. And I mean, I think Meg and Suzanne know this. I lost a long-term friend and I was listening to Annie say, it's like marriage and all this. But every once in a while, you find a friend that you think is like the perfect friend and you go through all this stuff with them. And then they just turn on you out of nowhere and it just blows you away. And you just think like, oh my God, what is this about? And I know it's not about me really. I know it's about what they're going through.
Yeah.
But you have to say to yourself, I don't deserve this. So, you have to say, I'm going to move on. And if that ever comes back, then we'll, look at it another time. But at this point, it's about me. Like I have to make sure that I'm in a good place and I'm not taking any abuse from anybody else.
Yes. Suzanne, go.
Okay. I just wanted to point out, I noticed Elizabeth Sandler, who is my sister, she says, true conflict is a huge part of getting the absolute best results. Absolutely true, isn't it? And that made me think of this. When we're facing resistance in our lives, that means we're making progress. So in your case, Leslie, you had this issue with this friend, you were progressing. Look what you did. You published this book, you're getting all this attention and everything, and you're being faced with this resistance. Maybe that needed to be addressed.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, echo Garrett saying conflict isn't fatal and honesty is the key. Patricia's saying, and also back to hashing it out. And, exactly, friendship is worth hashing out our differences. Of Echo's saying, it's common experience when we do lose friends. I do agree with Echo, and, it's upsetting. We all have had experiences like that. And that kind of goes back to the theme of tonight is detach with love. There's sometimes nothing you can do in the moment, but you can hold a space of love, but not be part of the toxic experience. Exactly. And I think that's a beautiful point all of you have added to tonight, and also the audience as well. Thank you so much. And I do have to add that Mike Spatola is here saying, wow, an impressive group, interesting, informative education, yes, entertaining. Thank you for being so inspirational. He himself is an inspiration as well and does so many. Yes, please, Leslie, go for it.
Suzanne's sister, I just love that she said this. She said sisters can be friends too, because both my sisters are very close to me. So I love that she said that. I just had to bring it up.
Well, I got to ask Annie, are you a middle child, Annie?
I'm the eldest
You're
of
the
four.
oldest?
Yes, I'm the eldest of four. You know, and I love my family. I will always love my family. Problems or not, you know, if there's times where they're mad at me about something, I don't ever stop the love.
Hmm.
You know, and I know everyone knows like what I'm going through. So I do have letters to friends that have dumped me and family so that should I ever be gone, whenever it happens, and they're not really letters, they're essays about my beautiful memories with them.
Oh, beautiful.
And just about the love, and that's it, because I'm going to be in heaven with like everybody knowing I love them.
Yeah.
No matter what.
That's
Wow,
beautiful.
that is beautiful. I just got chills, first of all.
Me too.
And I think it kind of is beautiful that we're going to your question now. Tell us an unexpected friendship you've made. And I will say this. I think that life throws us curveballs all the time. And sometimes they can be opportunities to open doors to some amazing people that you would never have had the opportunity to have that acquaintance. And I want to hear your thoughts on this, Annie.
You know, I made a lot of friends this year, but ones that have been, you know, with me daily all the time. Of course, Serena. We met at the Brenda, I can't remember her name, Brenda Novak book club. We were like put together to send packages to one another. And then we started the Write Review book club, you know, and but you know, my physical therapist has become my biggest champion as far as my health stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
And one of my sorority sisters is so knowledgeable of every single thing that's wrong with me.
Wow.
She's become my second healthcare proxy. But like it only started because of what has transpired this year. You know, and I mean, she was someone that pushed me in a wheelchair for the Avon breast cancer weekend walk for breast cancer after my stepmother passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Who I called mom because she said to me before she left this earth, "Will you do that walk?"
No.
And they said you can't pass it physically. And I said, "Oh God, I'm never gonna be able to do this." And then Erica and I were like, "Well, what if we push you in a wheelchair? That's a marathon and a half."
Oh,
You know, these are true, real friends that you can always count on, that are always there. And like for the physical therapist to have such pride in me, like with how good I'm doing, you know, you guys can't see it. So it's like real life. That's my real life, you know, close friend here locally. So I'm beyond blessed. It's like disgusting. It really is. Cause like the dog rescue, they rescued me, you know, I mean, it's just,
Oh, wow.
I'm so loved. I'm so loved. Like you guys can't even imagine.
yeah. You are.
I can imagine. I can see it. It's the person.
Yeah.
And Serena is here. She's saying this is an awesome group of ladies, great conversation. The fact of the matter that what you shared about your physical therapist, like I always say, there's no strangers in my life, especially, you know, someone who's offering to help me. And I offer whatever I can in return, the generosity of spirit, which is definitely your lane.
I try to do that. I try to give back.
You are a most generous person. And it's clear that it's not surprising to me that the blessings come to you 20-fold. So I love the question. I love that you asked it. I had to know who are these people, these magical angels in your life. Suzanne, you want to go next?
Oh, about the angels in my life?
Unexpected friendships you've made this year or whenever in your life.
Okay, well, definitely, I have to say it's you guys. I wasn't expecting this at all.
Yeah.
You know, I really wasn't. I was expecting to have to, you know, confer and talk and plan, but I wasn't expecting to have real friends that I can actually talk about other things than writing in the book. I mean, we talk about with the whole gamut, don't we? All three of you. All three of you. We cover it all. Everything, life. So that's been wonderful and magical. Really.
Oh, I know. And Leslie, take us home.
I'm going to say exactly what Suzanne said. I mean, I, had my group of friends from high school, college, and all those people. But once my kids got out of school, I wasn't making a lot of new friends because where do you make them? And meeting you guys has been like, I'm so grateful because like Suzanne said, we don't just talk about writing and, author stuff. We talk about real life and what's going on in our lives with our kids or our husbands or whatever it is. And that's been so meaningful and so intimate in a situation where we've never met in person. And then when you think about that, it's so bizarre.
It's so bizarre.
I know.
No, we talk on the phone or we meet on Zoom. And when you think about it, that's so weird. And we're across the country. And so that to me has been so magical. Like Suzanne said, it's been wonderful to meet all of you guys and the other people that I've met through this and through, She Writes, and everybody's just amazing.
And I think the other thing too, Meg, we're all four of us are like-minded in this regard, is we all want to win, right? But we want our friends to win also.
Yes.
And I was saying this to a fellow She Writes press author, one of our good friends, someone who we care about a lot. I said, it's no fun when you're the only one winning. It isn't. It's not fun. So it's like you want to see your friends all win so we can all celebrate. And we all have that in common.
I do want to extend the circle to everyone who is in earshot of this conversation. You are part of this conversation as well. Certainly, we're reading your comments as they come. What a fabulous foursome. I would even go further in saying that you, Patricia, Elizabeth, Serena, Echo, Tammy, all of you, Rachel, everyone who's on the feed tonight is a part of this circle of friendship, celebration of love and friendship. Kelly, Elizabeth, Echo, and Mike, all of you, Dara, all of you, because I want to make sure that you know that there are no coincidences in life. Everything is happening in a happy, wonderful synchronicity. And at the end of the day, each of us needed to hear what was coming out of each of our mouths or each of our typewriters or whatever that's happening here. And I think that one of the things I will say to this conversation before we go into the intentions is it has been a very lonely experience at times the last 2 years for so many people, and especially for extroverts. If you're an extrovert, you want to reach out and love. Oh my goodness, I'm like, this is like my echo. Tourists are coming in and joining me. But the reality is, the love is there. So I'm going to give this moment to each of you to share your intentions for this evening, starting with Leslie.
Okay. Well, my intention for this evening was that we trust our instincts and we find people in our lives, like all of you, that we can trust with our innermost thoughts and secrets and not worry about being judged or shamed. And if they do judge us, then we have the courage to say that's not okay. Because, it's important that we don't take negativity into our lives.
I love that. And share us the page you picked.
So you mean the page?
Yes.
I picked page 264.
So read what makes it, what comes to mind or whatever inspires you.
Okay. It is safe to share your soul with true friends. Because for me, for a long time, I really had to really trust somebody to be vulnerable and to share who I am and, not be perfect, so to speak. And I mean, with you guys, obviously I have, but it's one of those things that I think it's really important to be vulnerable because it's the only way you can be intimate and get to know somebody and have true friends. Because if you stay out here and people say like, oh, I just think you're, just got everything together. And then you say something like, oh, this happened. And they think like, well, I've had people say to me, well, oh, I thought that you had everything together. It's like, no, I'm like everybody else, I'm organized, but I don't have my whole life together. Things happen. And so that's why it's really important to me that I'm vulnerable with people now.
I love it. Suzanne, take it away. Your intention.
My intention was for, I'd love to think about the support and the comfort of a warm blanket coming out of the dryer. We ordered a warm towel. I wanted everyone to feel that at the end of our conversation. And the number I picked, we're getting an echo.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of it. It's Echo Bliss. It's joining us in the conversation. I love it.
I'm just going to read a little bit. Okay, I picked page 22 in honor of
22.
Fly, butterfly, fly. Don't let anyone label you. Everything that holds you down is only an illusion anyway. You are a magnificent creative soul, just waiting to shine in so many different ways.
That's beautiful. So, Sammy, take us home, honey. What is your intention?
Okay. So my intention has been this year is to hang around women that want to hold each other's crowns up, and when they start to tilt, help lift it up, not pull the thing off and throw it away. So I think it's really important because I believe that all women are queens, like you say, or princesses, whatever they want to be. But we're all here to hold each other's crowns up, to watch each other do well, like Suzanne was saying. We're all here born to be friends. And that's what I feel like. And I feel sad for people that aren't like that. So that's been another soapbox of mine this year. But as far as I picked page 33 from your beautiful book. Everybody needs to get it. It's called The Magical Guide to Bliss. But I picked 33 because that's my lucky number. And on there, ironically, which I found very strange, is a greater world than we can ever imagine. There's no greater thing than you can do with your life than to follow your passion in a way that serves you and the world, by Sir Richard Branson. Now, this makes me cry too. I'm a crier. I'm sorry. I started World of the Right Review because I wanted everybody to be in a group together. All the different genres from all over the world to be together. So when I flipped to page 33 and saw that, I was like, that's totally me, because I want to help the world, but the world to help come back to me too, to teach me things so I can learn from them and get comfort, like the blanket from Suzanne, which I'm expecting in the mail tomorrow. But I'm just kidding. I love that about the blanket, my friend. That's beautiful. And Leslie, I love yours too, but that's mine.
I will say that's beautiful. All three of you, amazing women, just beautiful. And Echo saying you're a visionary. And I will say this, one of my favorite things about life in general is how we all inspire each other. And the word inspiration is to breathe life into someone else. And I think that is really an amazing thing, especially coming out of a situation like COVID, where the breath was so important. So each of us in our very, 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 very unique and special way, come to the table, come to the circle, extend our circle out like Annie does so well, opens the doors for others like Suzanne does so well, always coming at it as you're doing great. Leslie always coming at it as, wow, the world is continuing and we're going to be on it together and share this journey and show up most authentically ourselves. So we got final words of inspiration tonight before we exit today with our celebration of love and friendship. I want to thank you before we go on, each of you, for coming at this circle with this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. And I'm going to start with Leslie.
Am I muted? Okay, now I'm not. Right? You can hear me? Okay. My final word of inspiration is find your tribe and nurture them the way you would want to be nurtured. I think that's really important, is to find the right people that are important in your life, and that you can help them the way they help you. And
so Suzanne, you're next, my friend. What's your final inspiration?
Okay. It said, find the way around. If any obstacle comes in your way, get around it, figure out another way. Don't be so easily dissuaded.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And finally, Annie, what do you got for us?
Okay, so on my save the date card for my wedding, the quote was, "Friendship like love lasts forever." And that's where I get how marriage is close to like friendship, because you're making a commitment to one another. And, for me, I have a poem on my fridge that says, "May I be a guard." And it's a guard for my friends. And I read that every day. So I always want to make, my takeaway from it is, as much as I get, I want to make sure I give back too. And I hope that people know how much I love them. I'm really big on love, man. So,
and I think that's amazing, because when it comes to the end, it's going to be how much you loved each other. I think that is it. No one's muted anymore, and there's no more echo. And I will say this: I have been inspired tonight by all three of you. I am grateful for each of your friendships. I do want to shout out, go find Annie at The Right Review. It is therightreview.com, TheWriteRevieu.com. Go find Suzanne at SuzanneSimonetti.com. It's SuzanneSimonetti. Make sure it's Suzanne, not Susan. SuzanneSimonetti.com. And then we have our beautiful Leslie as well. LeslieRasmussen.com. Is that correct, Leslie?
it's okay. Leslie A. Rasmussen.com.
Okay, everybody, add the A. LeslieARasmussen.com. And each one of these beautiful women have so many gifts to share with the world. And I hope that this offering of friendship from each one of us tonight opens up your eyes to the beauty of them, so that you can jump in to all these wonderful, wonderful, inspirational ideas, and your journey becomes yours, and you become the storm in your life and dictate to anywhere you go, whoever you are with, that you are special, you wear a tiara, and you're here to show up and shine the best way you know how. I want to thank you guys, you beautiful women, everyone who's joined us.
Thank you.
What an evening. I do believe that love is the thing that's going to heal all. And I certainly am made better person because of each one of you. And I thank you for being in my life. And I want to remind everyone, anything before you want to leave. I want anyone to say one more thing before you go. I just want to make sure the echo is gone. That's why I'm muted. So I'm not trying to silence anybody. I was just trying to control the techie part. But before we go, anybody want to say anything else?
I'm really big on the I love you with my friends, and some people are sometimes taking it back. But, I lost my best friend when I was young, and I never got to say I love you to her. So I've learned love in a different language, that you do love your friends the moment. It's just like Suzanne said, or Leslie, you're one of our people. Like, instantly that you feel love for somebody. And that's why I like to show it. So I hope everyone becomes vulnerable, like Leslie said, and opens themselves up to that love and friendship.
And I each one of you, and I'm so grateful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And thank you, Meg, because we all love you. I love you guys, all of you, but thank you for having us. This was
so
really
on
fun.
This special episode 88, I want to go back to what we said in the beginning. You knew something magical was going to happen. A spiritual purpose was here to teach and tell each one of us to show up and shine, be ourselves, be the storm, and be grateful for those people who cross your path, and make sure you go out there and tell everyone you love them. I think that's a great way to start tomorrow. Just if you can't say it out loud, say it in your heart, but show, shine, and be the love you want to see in this world. And with that, I want to say thank you again to Annie of the Right Review, Leslie of After Happily Ever After, International Book Bub, 99 cents. It's on right now. Go put this lady over the top as far as bestseller status goes. We've got to see this happen. And Suzanne Simonetti, who's coming up soon with her book bub. And I want to remind you all that it's time to raise the positive vibrations in the world. You be the change, be bold, be an awakener. Time to manifest the life of your dreams. Wishing you lots of love and magical bliss. Mwah. Love you all. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.